Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin. I'll show you guys what buyers have to do to keep the market above support, and we'll also look at a downside scenario in case the market does lose this support area that I'm watching. Now we'll also take a look at the DXY, the US dollar index, because it is a key driver for these markets and it has come into some resistance. So we'll take a look at that as well. And if you guys are enjoying this content, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to get notifications because I am releasing these videos every day, Monday through Friday. Now, one quick thing, guys, before we start is I do want to say a few words about the situation in Ukraine. To say that it's unfortunate is a massive understatement. So my thoughts and prayers go out to everyone in Ukraine right now. And while I talk about this chart today, my mind is on the chart, but my heart is really with everybody in Ukraine right now. It's an absolute atrocity what's happened. And I hoped that we could avoid this. The only thing I can hope for now is that it does end quickly. But again, thoughts and prayers to everyone in Ukraine. All right, guys, let's go ahead and turn our attention to Bitcoin, which it has come into some support, but the market right now is kind of in this weird position where, it's battling the support area intraday, and it's really going to come down to where the day closes at 7 p.m. Eastern. So let me go ahead and show you guys exactly what I'm watching. All right, so on the daily time frame, we can see where the market came in to this support area today. Now it has bounced from the low, but again, markets are in a very precarious situation with everything going on in Ukraine. We also throw on top of that, inflation, which was already here, which was already a topic, and the Fed and everything else. It just becomes a situation where everybody is playing defense, or at least that's the best approach right now. So just so you know, if you haven't seen recent videos, this lower level down here is actually the bear market high. Okay, so you can see here that during the last bear market, this was the high during the bear market. And you can see where this level connects with these lows back here in June and July. Now, what's interesting about this level is that also if you look in December of 2020, okay, you can see that the market actually found resistance here right before it broke out. Okay, so this is December 2020. You can see where it served as resistance for several days before we got that breakout. So moving forward, you can see where the market found support here, right back here on this bounce. It never did close the day below this trend line, okay, at 35,000. And for those of you who are watching the videos all the way back here, this area down here is what we were calling for between 40 and 42. Once the market got through here, I was starting to say, okay, we could see a move down toward 35, but that is the must hold level. And sure enough, Bitcoin never did close below that. So really same situation today, okay? This area down here is going to be support. Now, at the moment, like I said, the market is in this kind of weird position where it has to make a decision today, okay? So today's close at 7 p.m. Eastern, about 7 hours from now, is going to be absolutely critical for Bitcoin. This is going to decide whether we see the market head down here toward today's low, potentially back toward this $33,000 low and even $30,000, or if we get some type of relief rally up here toward 39,600. So it's not my job to sit here and say one is more likely than the other. It's just a matter of waiting to see what the market does. Okay, that's where we are right now, guys. We're just waiting to see if Bitcoin can close above this level right around 39,400. And if it does, then it's technically still at support on a daily closing basis. All right, so get above this area right around 36,400 today at 7 p.m. Eastern, stay above this, and there's a chance we get a relief rally potentially back toward 39,600. Alternatively, if we see Bitcoin close below this area here, right around 36,400, this area becomes resistance. We likely see another run down here at the low, potentially back here toward the $33,000 low. And then of course, the big topic on Twitter over the past few weeks has really been the area down around 30,000. So we all know that this is kind of the range low for Bitcoin over the past 14 months. And so if we do see it lose this support area down here, okay, right around $35,000 on a daily closing basis, then it does open up the $30,000 range low, okay? This becomes the next key support, arguably one of the most significant support areas on the chart. All right, so that's kind of what I'm watching today, guys. It really just comes down to today's close. Now, look, I'm not here to say one is more likely than the other. I'm just waiting for today's close to see what happens here. The one thing I will say though, guys, is I will say that this is not a time to be looking at the 30-minute chart or the hourly chart or even the 4-hour time frame. This is going to come down to the daily close. This is the most significant time frame with the exception of the weekly and monthly. So in my opinion, what happens on the hourly or even 4-hour time frame does not matter in relation to the daily time frame. Okay, so we're just waiting to see, where this goes today in relation to this area right around 36,400. Now, looking at the DXY, okay, this is kind of why we've seen Bitcoin bounce here over the past hour or so. If you'll notice here on the hourly chart, the market did come into resistance up here, and so far we did get an hourly bearish engulfing candle. Now, look, I don't look at hourly bearish engulfing candles too much. Typically, I look at the daily time frame or the weekly time frame. That's really what matters here. The weekly time frame did print a bearish engulfing candle recently. If you guys have watched the recent videos, you know I was talking about this candle back here. However, this is the one thing that I kept saying. We needed to move below 95.13, which we never got. So this was a bearish engulfing candle, but it was an unconfirmed pattern. We needed to close below the low, which never happened. If you'll notice, okay, this low right here was at 95.17. This was the bearish engulfing candle low at 95.13. So the DXY never did take out 95.13 to confirm that weekly pattern. So right now, the DXY, the US dollar index, has come into some resistance, and this is going to be key for risk assets, because if risk assets have any hope of rallying from current levels, okay, I'm talking stocks, namely tech stocks and also cryptos like Bitcoin, we need to see the DXY weaken. All right, they're not going to rally with the DXY up over 1% on the day. If we see this continue, then risk assets are going to continue to suffer. Now, this upper level up here is incredibly significant, going all the way back here to 2011. All right, so we talked about this at length. This is a trend line off of the 2011 low. You can see where the DXY had been trading above this level for about a decade. Okay, so it broke down back here. So this was the breakdown back here in 2020. And right now we are seeing the retest of that level today. So the market, just like Bitcoin, is at a critical spot on the chart. If it closes a week above this area, then risk assets continue to suffer, because we are likely to see the US dollar come back here and at least test some of these highs back here from 2020, potentially up here toward 2017. Alternatively, if we do get that rotation lower, then that is going to benefit risk assets like Bitcoin. So just like with Bitcoin, I'm not going to sit here and say what I think is likely to happen. It's just a matter of what the chart does. Things are so uncertain right now, guys, that I think trying to call one way or the other right now is just ill-advised. So we'll have to wait and see what the chart does. But technically speaking, the DXY is at resistance. So we'll see if we see it continue to weaken as we have over the past hour, or if we get that break through this area, in which case risk assets do suffer. All right, guys, so that is it. Just remember for Bitcoin, I'm not here, again, to say what is likely. I'm not here to say whether it's going to close above 36,400 or not. I think this is a time to play defense. Things are ugly out there, not just with Bitcoin, but with stocks, and also a ton of altcoins are looking pretty weak. Look, where today closes is going to matter in relation to 36,400. Below that, we continue to see some weakness toward 34,000, 33,000. Above that, and we could be looking at a relief rally, at least back toward 39,600. So we'll see how this plays out. But again, I just want to leave you guys with something I said earlier, and that is that, in my opinion, this is not a time to be looking at the 1-hour chart or 30-minute chart or anything like that. I think that all of that pales in comparison to the daily time frame. To me, right now, this is what matters. This is what's going to drive the market for the next few days and potentially weeks. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon to get notifications. Smash the like button and leave your comment below. I will talk to you again tomorrow.